Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here to break down the WCG FedEx St. Jude Invitational Tournament here on Draftkings. If you guys are new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos breaking down NBA, NFL, PGA, and esports, daily fantasy sports slates, esports, including Call of Duty, League of Legends, and CSGO. I do want to say thank you guys for all support. We are currently at 3.54 thousand subscribers now on YouTube. So if you enjoy all this free content, if you could leave a like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell. I know I say this every video, but those things do, again, guys, really help me out to continue to grow my YouTube channel. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, it's the DK DFS show. The link is in the description below. I would appreciate a 5-star rating and review over there. Alright, but with that all out of the way, let's jump into the video. So before we get into players and their prices for this tournament, what we can do is we can look back at my lineup here from last weekend. Last weekend was absolutely crazy. I think it was 5 of the top 6 golfers got cut, and 8 of the top 11, I think it was, got cut. So basically, if you played everyone in the 6 to 7K range, you probably won money. I think the optimal lineup left like $15,000 on the table or something crazy like that. All right, let's go over my lineup. So I had a 3 of 6 day, or a 3 of 6 weekend. Obviously, going to be near impossible to cash when you only have 3 of the 6 make the cut. Finau was the one expensive guy I played. Luckily, he was the one guy that did good. He finished 3rd. Max Homa was the thumbnail to my video. He was low owned. Again, 12% owned. He had let people down in 3 straight weekends, or 3 straight tournaments, I should say. So the ownership dropped on him. Also finished 3rd. So pretty happy there. And then Norlander as well was a guy that I heard a lot of people disliking going into the week. They thought he was going to have an off week, but he still played strong, finished 23rd. But it was, again, when you have 3 out of the 6 miss the cut, it's going to be tough. And, I mean, I saw people, I think there's more 0 out of 6 than 6 out of 6 lineups. I think there's more like 1 out of 6 and 5 out of 6. It was crazy. I think if you had a 4 out of 6 weekend, like 4 out of 6 guys make the cut, you probably cashed. Doc Redman, I played coming in at 20% owned. I mean, he was high owned. Yeah, well, I mean, what can I say? A lot of the high price guys just did not make the cut. So a little bit unfortunate there. The 2 value plays, I feel like 2 of the only value plays that didn't make the cut, right? Because it feels like almost everyone in the 6 to 7K range made the cut. I played Chesson Hadley, who kind of had an off day there this Friday, and then Hudson Swafford was bad both days. But yeah, that's really my look back there. Again, hit on Homa pretty well. Hit on Finau and Norlander, but the other pieces just didn't work out. And I feel like a lot of people, not just myself, really struggled last weekend with, again, 8 of the top 11 guys missing the cut. Kind of a crazy week. So, all right, let's now switch over to my spreadsheet I made for you guys for this week. Let me go ahead and expand this a bit. All right, I think that should be pretty good. So, the WCG, what are some things? Well, first off, I want to say is you can look by the field size, right? We only have, 78 players, I think. There's no cuts. So everyone makes the cut. Everyone plays the weekend. So a little bit different than obviously what we've been seeing so far, right? With normal tournaments, right? You get half the field cut. So I think, that makes me want to focus on the birdie or better rankings, which I included here. I guess what we can do is let's look over what I have in my spreadsheet. If you guys are new to this channel. So obviously I have the players on the left-hand side with their DraftKings salary. I have their Vegas odds. So right now, Jon Rahm is the favorite at 10-1 or plus 1,000. I have their average fantasy points per game that are on DraftKings. I have the 2019 course history because that's all that we have for this tournament. Now, there was previous years on this tournament. Daniel Berger, I think, won it back-to-back years, was in 16 and 17, but it was a little bit different then. It was easier competition in that tournament, and then they did cut people as well. So a little bit different. So I kind of want to focus on the 2019 stats here. And then including birdie or better, which I just mentioned, I want to focus on because there's no cuts. So I want those guys that are going to make a lot of birdies or eagles, right? And then I have the strokes gained rankings total around the green, approach, tee to green, off the tee, putting, and then the par 3, par 4, and par 5 rankings. Obviously, for these rankings, 1 is good, and high number like 200 is really bad. I have a color-coded for you guys there so you can see. A couple of stats I want to focus on here are around the green because they're very, very small greens on this course. So I think the short game is going to be important. So that's why I want to focus on around the green. I included that more on the left-hand side, as well as the approach play, the iron shots. So those are the two I want to focus on the most here when I kind of give my analysis on my players. So that's kind of the breakdown here of the spreadsheet and everything I included here. I guess what we can do now is I can give you guys kind of my breakdown of who I'm kind of liking for this tournament. So what we can do is we can start with the guys all 10K plus. So we have Rahm at 11.4, Rory at 11.2, Bryson at 11K, JT 10.7, Patrick Cantley 10.1. Jon Rahm coming in at 11.4K. I know he won the last event, but him being the most expensive guy in a tournament this loaded, when there's just so many good plays, in my opinion, in the 8 and 9K range, a few in the 7K range, that right now I'm kind of leaning more towards the balanced approach. I am. Now, sure, you can definitely go a little bit stars and scrubs. Like, there's some value plays I'll mention that if you want to go that way, you can. But I always kind of give you guys my lean. If I'm unsure of my build, I'll kind of mention that. But looking at this field and looking at some of the players and their prices, right now I kind of like the balanced approach. There's a lot of guys in the 8-9K range I'll mention that I'm kind of liking. But yeah, back to the guys at the top here. So Rahm 11.4 will probably be a void for me. Again, I know he played really well in the last tournament. He finished 7th here last year. He's good, birdie or better, total around the green, right? A lot of these top players are going to look really good. So, but it's just the price tag thing for me. So Rahm will probably be a void. Rory coming in 11.2K. I think he's interesting because he's kind of been struggling since coming back from the coronavirus break, at least, for his type of play, right? He was a player that was really, really hot going into it and then kind of cooled off a little bit since coming back from the break. I think he's interesting. I still think he will garner ownership, but maybe go someone that's a little bit lower owned. And then you have Bryson coming in at 11K. I like Bryson. I mean, he had, 6 straight top 10 performances before that last tournament where he missed the cut. It was a blow-up hole, really. I think he shot a 10 on a par 3 or par 4. Not good, right? So that really hurt him, obviously. Not super, super worried about one blow-up hole, to be honest. Other than that, again, he's been playing amazing golf. So the 11K price point, I think that looks decent for Bryson. Obviously, again, a lot of the guys at the top are going to have really good numbers here. He's 5th birdie or better, 2nd total. Not the best around the green player, which is a slight concern, but obviously he's great off the tee, right? So I do have interest there in Bryson as a spend up. I think he goes someone that maybe a little bit lower owned as well. JT coming in at 10.7. I think he's someone that's going to garner some ownership of these top 5 guys. Personally, it's probably going to be a stay away. I think the ownership will be a little bit inflated. He's a good ball striker. A lot of the numbers would look really good for JT. Also, someone that has been in pretty decent form as well. I just think the ownership will be slightly too high for me for a guy in this price range. So that'll be a play I'll probably stay away from. Again, I think JT's a good play. He's probably a good cash game play. This is more talking tournaments, and I think the ownership will be up on him. I think of these guys at the top, he's definitely going to be one of the highest, if not the highest owned guys. So For that reason, just kind of the game theory reason, again, I think he looks good. I just think he will be a little bit too high owned for me for tournaments. Patrick Cantley coming in at 10.1K. Another guy that's been in really, really good form. He's currently 20-1 odds to win. He finished 12th here last year as well as JT. Third birdie or better, 6th total, 7th approach. Again, a lot of these guys are going to look really, really good. I have a little bit interested in Cantley. Again, it's just a price point at 10-1 that it's not that it's a bad price. Again, I slightly, I'm leaning towards more of the balanced approach. So of the guys at the top, I think JT looks a good cash game play, but for tournaments, I think the ownership will be up on him, so I'll probably pass there. Bryson's a guy that I think goes a little bit lower owned of this group, so I kind of have interest in Bryson, who's been playing really, really well. Again, Rahm will probably be a stay away from me. I have a little bit of interest in Rory, a little bit of interest in Cantley. But that's kind of my feelings there for the top 5 guys. Let's go to the 9K range now. So we have Webb at 9.9, Xander 9.8, Tyrell Hatton at 9.7, Daniel Berger 9.6, Morikawa at 9.5, Hovland 9.4, DJ 9.3, Brooks at 9.2, Finau 9.1, Matthew Fitzpatrick 9K. So let's start with some of the guys more at the top here. So we have Webb at 9.9. He finished second here last year, which is obviously good to see. He's first in birdie or better, 11th in approach. He's a really good short game player. Again, a good putter. Really, the numbers look really good for Webb all around. I would probably rather get to Webb than any of the guys above him for his price. So I think Webb looks like a really, really solid play here below 10K. I know he missed the cut in the previous tournament, but a lot of players did as well. And that was a much harder course. So I'm not super, super worried about that. I do like Webb here. Again, I think I like him a little bit better than some of the guys above him. Also, I mentioned Xander, but he's one of those guys that always seems to be high owned. Again, 2 weeks ago, I liked him. Him and John Rahm are about the same price. I kind of mentioned that I liked the pivot with Xander over Rahm. So Rahm must be high owned. But Xander came in at almost the same ownership as Rahm. And now you get him at 9.8, whereas Rahm's at 11.4. So, when you had those two guys that were like the same price 2 weeks ago, and since John Rahm won that tournament, he's now 11.4, whereas Xander kind of stayed the same at 9.8. I like Xander. My worry is just kind of the same thing. It's just, I think the ownership will be up on him once again. But, again, I think I like Webb and Xander better than the guys above them for their prices. Xander has just been in pretty solid form. He's a guy that, seems to have one blow-up round, at least the last few tournaments, but you don't have to worry about that here, obviously, with no one getting cut. So, Webb and Xander are two guys I like a decent amount here. Tyrell Hatton, the numbers look really good for him all around, right? Second birdie or better, first total, second in approach, 22nd in around the green. Really good putter too. I think the numbers look really, really good in Hatton. So another guy that I do like. I think Webb, Xander, and Hatton. I all prefer to the guys above them. So those are 3 guys just below the 10K price point that I do have a good amount of interest in. Now Berger at 9.6 again. He didn't play in it last year, but I believe it was 2016 and 2017 where he won back-to-back years. Another guy that's been in pretty good form, did get cut the last tournament. Personally, it's just, I'm not going to say I like everyone, right, because that wouldn't be beneficial for you guys. I try to kind of keep it to a smaller group of guys that I have interest in, or, about 15 or so on a weekly basis. So Berger, I don't mind, but I just prefer Hatton, Xander, and Webb right above them. So kind of the same thing with Morikawa, too, at 9.5. Him, Victor Hovland, 2 guys that have been in really good form. Hovland there at 9.4. Again, I just think I slightly prefer Xander, Webb, and Tyrell Hatton for a little bit more. So, not saying Berger, Morikawa, Hovland are bad plays, right? I think all are pretty solid plays if that's the way you want to go. I just slightly prefer the guys above them. DJ and Brooks. DJ coming in 9.3. Only played 1 round last weekend. Had to leave because of the back injury. In a field this loaded, I don't feel like it's worth it to take a shot there, unless you're making 150 lineups and you want to, get some ownership because he's going to be low owned. Obviously, the price looks good, but again, in a field this loaded with him struggling back-to-back weeks, I don't think I can buy low on him right now. The back worries me. The recent form worries me. So that'll be a stay away. And the same thing with Brooks, who's been dealing with the knee injury, 9.2K. He did win it last year, which is good to see. But these two guys right now, I know their prices look pretty decent. They're just going to be passes for me. Now, Finau coming in at 9.1. If you guys have watched my recent videos, you know I'm a big Tony Finau guy. And if it's not broke, don't fix it. That's kind of my feelings with Tony Finau. I'm probably going to go right back to the well here. Really good performances back-to-back weeks. He finished third last week. My concern with him is just the ownership now. Right, I've got him at pretty decent ownership in back-to-back weeks. I think the recent form, because he's been playing so well, I think that will raise his ownership a bit. So that's only a slight concern with me, is I think the ownership will be up on him in GPPs. But he's just someone, again, a very good birdie or better player. He's a guy that's going to come out and get you a lot of birdies, maybe an eagle here and there. He's ranked good, SG total, strong staying total at 12th. He's a good around the green player, good approach player, good there's really nothing bad to say right now about Tony Finau, and he's been in a really good form. And again, he's kind of my boy too, so I'm going to go back to Finau. I like him a lot once again here at 9.1K. I think that price is a little bit too cheap for the way he's been playing, for how he kind of fits this course. I do have a good amount of interest there in Finau at 9.1. Fitzpatrick at 9K. Kind of the same analysis here with Berger, Morikawa, and Hovland. Not saying they're bad plays. I'm just not going to recommend everyone. He did finish fourth last year. Got decent numbers. Not the best birdie or better, which is a concern. I think he's someone that is going to be low owned for sure. Probably sub 5% owned compared to some of the guys around him. So if you want to take a shot in GPPs, go for it. But again, that can be the way that I go. Hideki Matsuyama. So let's get to the 8K range now. Hideki coming in at 8.9. He's someone that I don't think is going to be that high owned this week. A lot of people have kind of been hating on Hideki. He's got good numbers, everything besides the putter, right? Good birdie or better. He's good around the green. He's really good approach player. Good tee to green. It's just the 205th ranked putter. So you got to feel like if you can just have a decent week putting, Hideki definitely has a shot to win, and he's someone that I think will be low owned. So I have a little bit of interest in Hideki for those reasons, right? It's just the putter that kind of lets him down. Everything else looks good. I think the ownership will be down on him in GPP, so I do kind of like Hideki there at 8.9. Patrick Reed coming in at 8.8. I think some of the numbers look pretty good for him. He's 33-1 odds to win. He finished 12th here last year, 7th birdie or better, 11th total, 20th around the green. You have a little interest there. Again, I don't want to recommend everyone here. Fleetwood at 8.7 was a guy that was pretty popular last week. I fortunately did not play him. It was his first week back from the coronavirus break. I just think in a field like this, I don't know. It just worries me a little bit that he's only played 1 week since, obviously returning from the coronavirus break. 8.7K, it's probably going to be a pass for me for now. I get it. The ownership will definitely drop. He let a lot of people down last weekend, but I just think I slightly prefer some other plays around this price range, like a guy like Gary Woodland at 8.6. I think he's someone that kind of stands out here. He's 10th birdie or better, 15th total, 8th approach. Not the best around the green player. That's kind of his only letdown. He's a pretty solid putter too. Now, I guess the worry with him is the ownership's going to be up, I think. 8.6. Hey, Gary Woodland's been popular, feels like the last 4 or 5 tournaments. And he's someone that's kind of always in the mid 8K range. I just think that's slightly underpriced for him. So I like Gary a lot. I think he's kind of a cash game play, right? Because he's going to be, in my opinion, higher owned. That's my only real concern there, is that the ownership will be up on him. Now, he is someone that's kind of been a little bit more up and down recently, but really, again, you don't have to worry too much because no one gets cut. So I do like Gary there at 8.6. I guess the one downside there would be the round the green play, as well as I just think the ownership will be up. Billy Horschel at 8.5 is a pass from me. Abraham Answer at 8.4 is a guy that I haven't heard his name mentioned too much this week, which is good. he's someone that I like a lot here. He's been in pretty good form since coming back, obviously, from the coronavirus break. I like the price point in him a good amount, too. 50 to 1 odds to win. I think that's pretty solid. He's not the best birdie or better rankings, but good strokes gained total, good approach player. Not the greatest around the green, but I just think for his price point and his recent form, I like that. And I haven't really heard his name mentioned too much around the industry for DFS. So Abraham Answer is a guy that I like at 8-4, and I think goes low owned. So yeah, I like him a good amount there for those reasons alone. Again, recent play's been good. Ownership I think will be low. I haven't really heard his name mentioned too much, so I do like Abe Answer a good amount there at 8.4K. Ricky at 8.3. I kind of got burned by him a couple weeks ago. I just kind of the same analysis there with DJ and Brooks. They have not been in the best form. The previous 2 tournaments though, Ricky was okay. He's been struggling with with his swing though, working on that. In the field this loaded, I'll probably stay away from Ricky. Jason Day at 8.2, another guy I'll probably pass on. Now, he's a really good short game player, first and around the green, actually. But I just don't know if I can get to Jason Day here at his price. I would much prefer getting to Abraham Answer or Gary Woodland for a little bit more. Now we get to Spieth at 8.1. I always got to mention him. It just seems like he always has one blow-up round, which is, I guess, not terrible in a tournament like this where you don't get cut, so you don't really have to worry too much about that. He's been very kind of up and down, more down so than up. The price point looks okay at 8.1. I think he's going to go low owned, personally. If the field this strong with his play kind of being, again, I'm more up and down. I kind of like Spieth for GPPs. He's someone that, if he can avoid that one blow-up round, I would not be shocked if Spieth came out and won this tournament. And he's someone that's very hated on in the DFS industry. No one likes playing Spieth. So for those reasons alone, I have a little bit of interest there. Sergio at 8K, another guy, kind of like Abe Answer. I haven't heard his name mentioned too much, and that's good. Coming back from the coronavirus break, did get cut, but then was 5th and then 30th or 32nd. So he's been in relatively good form the last 3 weeks he's played. The 8K price point, I think, looks pretty good. And again, I haven't heard his name mentioned a whole lot. He finished 40th here last year. Not the best birdie or better ranking, 86th, but it's been really good around the green. Really good tee to green rankings, really good off the green. He's just kind of struggling with the putter. Kind of the same analysis as like a Hideki, right? He's just not the best with his putter. But if Sergio can have a decent putting weekend, I would not be surprised if he's up there in contention to top 5 or even win this tournament. So another guy that, kind of like Abe Answer, I haven't heard his name a lot. So I kind of like Sergio for that reason alone. I think he will be low owned. He's been in pretty good form recently. So yeah, I have interest there. Matthew Wolff played really well last weekend. I'll probably pass on him at 7.9. I just think I like the players slightly above him, maybe slightly below him. So don't think I'm going to get to him. Paul Casey at 7.8 is a guy that let a lot of people down last weekend. He was kind of like Fleetwood, high owned, missed the cut. The downside with him is his short game, obviously. Terrible around the green, terrible putter. But other than that, everything looks pretty good, right? Approach, tee to green, off the tee, all look pretty decent. He's priced under 8K too. I have a little bit of interest in him for GPPs, just because I think the ownership will drop on him. But he's also had, I think, back-to-back weekends of like one blow-up hole that's kind of hurt him. But if he can just avoid that one, again, terrible hole, Paul Casey's actually been playing decent golf. So I kind of like him there at 7.8K. Let's see. You have Matt Kutcher coming in now at 7.6. He's someone that I think looks okay here for his price. He is 70 to 1 odds to win. He's 53rd birdie or better, which for someone in his price range looks decent. His strokes gained total is 27th, not bad. Approach play, not the best around the green. Again, not the best. He's a really good putter. That is his upside. Yeah, I kind of like him in this 7K range. The 7K range is not huge. There's not a whole lot of plays that I'm like overly excited about. But Kutcher is a guy that I kind of like there. Stenson, we haven't seen him since the coronavirus break. That's just a strictly dart throw. I think I'll probably pass on him. Let's see. Sunjae Im. The price point is tempting at 7.5, but he's someone that has not been in good form. It's one of those plays where you got to feel like he's going to bounce back eventually, right? And is this the tournament where he bounces back? Obviously, we know that the upside is there with Sunjae. Before the coronavirus break, he was playing really, really well. So if he can just get back to his old form of a few months ago, right? The price looks really good on Sunjae. He was a guy that was mid nines to high 9K range, just right after the coronavirus break. So, yeah, obviously the price point's tempting here. It's kind of one of those buy low opportunities. I think I do like him a little bit here for that price. Let's see. Other options here. I think a guy like Max Homa looks okay. 7-2 again. I was really high on him last week. He got third. Again, the recent form's been decent. I think the previous weeks, though, he had missed 2 or 3 weeks. He had missed the cut on the cut line. But again, I think he's been playing pretty good golf. The numbers don't look great for him, but a 7.2K price point, kind of like Kutcher. These are the guys I like a decent amount here in this range. Also, I have a little bit of interest there in Paul Casey. But other than that, the 7K range, I'm not like overly excited about. Bubba Willett will probably stay away. Michael Thompson, I know he won last week, but I'm not going to go there. His price. Kisner will probably also be a pass. So let's now get to the 6K range, I should say. Not a whole lot I'm like overly excited about here, and that's kind of the reason why I like more the balanced approach. Is just I feel like there's so many good plays in the 9K range, a lot in the 8K range. There's a few in the 7K range that I like. That the guys in the 6K range. Now again, there's going to be a few I'll mention. So let's talk about some of these guys. EVR was a guy that was pretty popular last week. He missed the cut, let a lot of people down. The price obviously dropped a lot in him to 6.8K. Again, that's more of just a dart throw GPP play. I think the ownership will be low on him. JT Poston is a guy that I think goes. I haven't really heard his name mentioned a whole lot this week. He's 6.5. He's 151 odds to win. His birdie or better numbers look good. He's 39th. He's 35th total, 44th around the green. 5th, he's a really good putter, and not the best approach player. But when you get a guy this cheap, there's obviously you're not going to have everything look good. I just think he's someone that I kind of like as a cheap option. If you wanted to go that stars and scrubs approach, I think JT Poston is a guy that I like a good amount as a kind of a dart throw cheap option here. Benion's always a guy I think will pick up ownership. 6.5K price obviously looks decent. He's been up and down, struggling obviously with the putter, kind of like a Decky, kind of like Sergio. He's a guy that always seems to garner a little bit of ownership in the DFS community. He's a guy that a lot of people like playing. So I think he will be somewhat, will get a little bit of ownership there. Let's see. Other options here. Again, I'm just not like overly excited about this price range. Like Cameron Smith finished 12th last year. He's 38th, birdie or better. Sure, slight interest, right? Joel Damon is a guy that let me down. What was that, like three or 4 weeks ago? He was absolutely terrible, and I liked him as a value play. The thing with him is kind of like a Matthew Wolff. When he's playing well, normally he plays really well. If he's playing bad, he'll play terribly. So one of those guys that you can definitely look to for GPPs, because again, if he's clicking, if everything's clicking, he can play well and can get you like a top 10 here. So I have a little bit of interest in him as a really cheap option. But that's really it. Below that, I don't think I want to take a shot on any of these guys. So that's kind of my feelings for this tournament. Again, guys, right now I'm leaning towards the balanced approach. There's a lot of plays in the 8, 9K range, a few in the 7K range that I really like where, my builds right now, I don't think I have anyone in the 6K range. Not saying you guys don't have to. Again, if you like one of those top guys, you want to play a couple of those guys and go stars and scrubs, go for it. It's just, I think my builds right now, I really do like the more balanced build. But yeah, I think that's really going to wrap it up for today's video, guys. So if you have been enjoying the content so far, again, if you could leave a like button on this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell. I would really, really appreciate that, guys. NBA starting up in a few days. If you guys are interested, I do have an early look for Thursday's 2-game slate as well as Friday's 6-game slate. I will have a final look video up for both of those slates as well. So for Thursday's 2-game slate, I'll probably have a video up Wednesday, and then for Friday's slate, I'll probably have a video up Thursday. But if you guys want to check out an early look video, I do have videos up for that. Really, really, really excited about NBA to be back. But yeah, all right. Thanks again, guys. Hope you guys all have a good day, and I will see you all in the next video.